High as hell when I'm in the clouds. That's that space shit. Elevated, I'm hella faded.
Hey guys, it is February 7th. Welcome back to Divine Destiny. This is going to be a pick a card, and we are going to be finding out what your best qualities are. Everyone has like a lot of really great things about them that make them who they are. And you know, these qualities are things that not only we can be proud that we have, but also I think a lot of people around us really love them about us too. So we're going to be kind of dissecting our best qualities today. So what I want you to do, if you've not done a pick a card before, just go ahead and take a deep breath. Okay, clear your mind and pick whichever pile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Pick whichever one resonates with you. Just one could resonate. 2 of them could resonate. All 3 could resonate. You never know. Whatever you feel drawn to watch or listen to. I'm reading for a collective, so you know not everything may resonate. Take what resonates. Don't worry about it if it doesn't. Just let it go. All right. So you're gonna take a few minutes here. Pick a card, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into the readings. I'll have the timestamps down in the comments. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting. I love reading all the comments. If you have an idea for a pick a card, for a spread, for a reading, if you have a comment or a question or just want to say hi, go ahead and put them down below. I love hearing from everyone. All right, I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds and let you guys get to it. Good luck. Okay, pile number 1. All right, so this is going to be what are your best qualities for pick a card today. It's going to be the same general concept that I usually do. So we're going to do 2 angel cards, 2 my cards, 1 healing card. All right. Ready to see why you're so wonderful? Are you? Okay, we'll take this one first. All right, so this is the 5 of water. 5 of water is 5 of cups. You're someone who really can see, I think, a bright side in just about anything. Like, you're really not somebody who is down and out for very long. I think you kind of are able to find the good in any situation. You might be somebody that a lot of people go to when they're going through a lot of shit. They might come to you, and I think it's more for your energy because you really have this hopeful energy about you. You really have like it's like there's like a light at the end of the tunnel for you constantly, no matter what's going on. It's just very hopeful. And I think people, when they're in that frame of mind that they really need guidance or help, that energy that you have is very comforting to them. So I think that's why a lot of you might even notice a lot of people in your family gravitate to you. You know, if there's internal conflicts, or you know, you seem to always be the person everyone goes to for resolution. It's a wonderful quality. Sorry, my little girl is sick, so she might actually be coming in, you know, interrupting me a little bit today because she doesn't feel good. So sorry, but kids, you know. You really, I think maybe over the years I kind of get like a feeling you've always been like, why does everyone come to me? you know, like a, not that you don't like it, you know, not that you can't stand people coming to you, and you love to help people, you know, you like to make people feel better. But I think you know, you might have run into the issue of you always being there for people, and maybe it not being the same when the tables are turned. You know, it's kind of like you help, but then like you need help, and where'd everybody go? You know, that kind of a thing. But it's honestly made you very, very capable of emotionally taking care of yourself that way. And I think that's a really, you know, great quality to have, you know, to be able to take, you know, an emotionally draining or trying situation and really not need anyone outside of yourself to influence you. It's a gift. That's really a wonderful thing. I see you as somebody who really doesn't, like, you might have ideas, you know, on how things you would like them to go. But I don't see that you don't hold on to that too much. You kind of allow things to unfold the way they do, even if it's not how you wanted it to. I think you're very quick to go, well, it's good it happened this way because, you know, so you seem to always have some sort of a brightness about you, and it's really a quality that other people notice. And I think a lot of people are very thankful that you have it, because I think for a lot of people, not just your family, but, you know, friends, just coworkers. If you're like me, random people in supermarkets, like people come up to me all the time and they'll be like telling me, you know, about what happened when they were 6. I'm just like, thanks for that. You know, like, it's great that people, you know, get so comfortable, and that's wonderful to help and be a joy wherever you go. That's beautiful. But it can be a little like, oh, you know, I get it. But this is a really great quality. I think maybe you have over the years been like not too jazzed about it. She's yelling. But I hope by now that you are. I think that you're probably by now you realize that it's an asset. Oh, she's yelling. Hold on one second. It's definitely been a day. Now my son is sick. I had to go get him from school. It's been a crazy morning, though. Really. So, like I was saying, I really think that you have a really great outlook on things. And even when you don't, that doesn't last very long. You're pretty quick to kind of reel yourself in and get a handle on things. And that's a really wonderful quality to have, and I'm sure something that a lot of people around you really appreciate you having. Let's see. Release. This is Archangel Azrael rules the release card. I feel like if you haven't always been inclined towards spiritual things, that it kind of was like a, you know, really, there was a definite point for you where it became like, you know, a big deal. So maybe that's like, it was like kind of escalating. And it's been building and building and building. This isn't something that, it's almost like you're on a fast track to spirituality almost, you know? And there's really, you let go easy enough. I mean, not always completely easy, but you have the ability to end situations. You have the ability to kind of stop things and then start something different. It's like, if I can, okay, I keep seeing like this. It's like a definite, and you just go. Like it's not, I'm not sure what that is. It's like there's like this, and it does like that. Sometimes they show me things and I'm just like, what does that even mean? So I'm not sure what that means totally. Maybe I'll figure it out in a minute here. Okay, you're able to put the past behind you in a lot of ways. So you stop. This would be the past, and then you go. Like you're not. A lot of people seem to be working and living in a lot of different spaces. They might be doing something, but they're thinking of 10 years ago, or they're envisioning 10 years from now, or, you know, a lot of people aren't as focused, I think, in a lot of, and not to say that you don't, you know, wander off, you know, I just feel like you have more of a present kind of feeling, like you're very present. I think a lot of people, when you give your attention, I think that they honestly can feel that they have your attention. You know, I think you're very, you're a great listener. You know, a lot of people, they listen to talk. I don't know if you have met a person like that. You know, they hear what you're saying, but it's only so they can say something. You're not like that. You really, you listen intently, and it's out of genuine, like, I don't want to say always concern, because sometimes you're just like, really, but like there's a level of presentness. You know, you really do give full attention when you're listening, and that's a wonderful quality to have. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people aren't able to sit with someone and really give them their undivided attention. You know, they might have other stuff going on. Hell, some people be sitting on their phone, and that's, you know, really the only kind of response you get out of them. So to be an attentive listener, I think, is a really great quality to have. I think when you don't like to overstay your welcome. I think you're kind of the step out before, you know, the normal person might. I feel like it's you know, like right before the cops show up at a party, you'd be the person that leaves right before that. So either you've got incredible foresight, or I think you just are able to really read situations. You're able to read people. You're able to read energies. And I think that you really apply that towards your everyday life. And I think it probably, whether you know it or not, has gotten you out of a lot of sticky situations. But you're definitely someone who doesn't want to overstay your welcome. You don't want to be somewhere if you're not really wanted there. You know, like, to you, it's just like, well, okay, if you really don't give a shit that I'm here, then I won't be here. Okay. You know, it's not, I don't think you put a lot of, not to say that it doesn't hurt you, because I mean, I just don't think it affects you in a way that it would affect a lot of other people. Or for as long. I really feel like you're able to kind of, it's that thing, it's like you can file, like, it's hard to explain. You're able to almost take an experience and like, it happened, this is when it happened. It's in like this is where it is, and that's where it stays. You know, it's not something that you keep going back to look at. It's like, it's put in this box, and that's that. It's where it's going to stay. And you have the ability to do that. Is that always great? I'm not your therapist. Don't ask me. I would imagine that it's probably, you know, just like, you know, when you have an attic at a house. I mean, if you put things in boxes and you get them out of your regular house, but you're just putting them in boxes and throwing them in the attic, I mean, you haven't gotten rid of the stuff. You're still eventually going to have to go to the attic when you move or when you're trying to get more space, and you're going to have to clean the shit out. So, I mean, it's a great way to be for present moments, so you're not overwhelmed and being brought back to the past. Or it's great, but don't overdo it, because these are things that you will have to go back and go through. You know, you can't always compress things and just like file them away, you know, and try. Good luck. But I really do think that it's because you've had a lot of experiences that have kind of forced you in a way to do this. So this isn't something that you're just like, well, I don't want to feel anything anymore, so I'm going to stash all these away and, you know, in a secret box somewhere. This hasn't been like that. I really think that you were put in situations, maybe even particularly as a child, young adult, adolescent, kind of very impressionable. I think that you something happened maybe, and it was very jarring in a way that disrupted your life in a lot of ways. Maybe it was you moved, or a divorce, or, you know, something happened and you were kind of forced to almost, I hear, soldier on. You know, you were kind of forced to just keep going, you know, and it's not that I don't think that people didn't care per se, or some of them might not have, but, you know, I just think that there really wasn't a whole lot of time trying to acclimate yourself to this new situation. Or maybe it was, you know, if it's, I think that it's when you were little, little to young, little, but that was definitely the first time this happened. You've had experiences, though, over and over again. And I think the reason is because you need to learn that you can't just keep packing those things away. Not sure why this is coming up, because this really isn't a great quality. But there you go. If you're wanting to do some shadow work, there's that. I do think that you're able to, because of those situations, really just, we're not going to worry about that, you know, like Bob Ross, you know, like, those are birds now. We're gonna make them trees. They're not problems, they're trees. Everyone's happy, right? You can't always do that. It works well for other people, right? It makes other people very comfortable. It makes them think like they can always come to you because you don't have any problems, right? You know, but you can solve theirs. Okay, so we really need to be aware of that and trying to help ourselves the most. Help other people, that's great, but make sure you're helping yourself. Let's move on here. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is an absolutely amazing card. It's basically, some people call it a destiny card, some people will call it karma, some people will call it you know, cause and effect, like the circle of life can be represented as a wheel. And I think you kind of grasp that concept. I think you kind of, and this I think started at a really young age for you. I feel like you've learned this. You've learned certain truths about life, and you started learning them very early on. You know, and this is, I think, even for people who were older than you, I think they were kind of like well, that's creepy, you know, like, you know, they're pretty experienced for, how old are you? You know, like it's that kind of a, like you have a lot of experience, but not a lot of years to match it. And I think it takes people, or it used to, you know, kind of takes them aback. I do think though you have learned, and this is a really wonderful quality, how to, it's not to use, but harness, you know, these universal laws. And, you know, when you're able to live in a very peaceful way, because you kind of understand how to play the game. And not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people are even aware of the rules, that there are any rules. A lot of people have no idea. You know, they go through their whole lives not knowing that everything you're doing and everything you're, you know, involved in directly it comes from you. So I think you really do kind of know the power you have, the reason things happen, you know, even if it's not something that consciously, you know, you manifested, you know, the situations that you were put in even as a child, you know, these are all things that are kind of divinely put in your way. These are things that everyone needs to, that you would need to learn in order to get the lessons and the things you need. And I think as you get older, especially, you know, you've not stopped learning. So, I mean, not only did you start at a very young age, already kind of ahead of people in knowing a lot of things, you didn't stop learning after that. So now you're even further ahead and you have the years experience to match it. So I do think that you're someone who's very, I don't want to say spiritual. I don't think that you're like uber spiritual, like, no. Like, I think you're, I don't even know how to describe it. You're learned, but it's natural. It's almost like you were a, I heard studied under Merlin. Maybe, I don't know, who knows? Everyone has a mentor, I suppose. So yeah, maybe you almost kind of were like a sorcerer's apprentice in a way, you know, you kind of learned that way. And it's not because you were like into this spiritual, you know, stuff. It's learned. It's something that you've really dedicated a lot of time to, and you've taken it seriously, which is, you know, how you're able to know this. You know, you probably, if you don't now, I really think that you have the potential to be very knowledgeable or powerful, you know, especially in an esoteric kind of occult way, which is awesome. A lot of 10, I keep seeing 10. So much ends with you. But it's good because it also, you know, it immediately, when something ends, it immediately goes into a new something else. You know, so, you know, every ending is just a beginning, and it really, it's seamless, you know. Especially lately, I feel like you have just been, and you've noticed it. Like, you know, like, I see a wheel, like a flat tire, and it's like, boop, 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 boop. Like you're doing the rounds, but it's almost like painful in a way because you're like noticing it. You're noticing this wheel turning. So I think I feel, because it's like, it's really heavy lessons, you know, hard lessons that you've had to learn to get where you are. you are not one to not want to learn. You love people teaching you things. You love to learn. You love, you're not the kind of person that would be, you know, oh, I can do it. I know it. You've never done it before. Like, gonna make a souffle, but you've never even made spaghetti. But you're like, I don't need any help. Okay, I got it. And then you fuck everything up. You're not that person. You don't mind being mentored. You don't mind someone teaching you, which is a wonderful quality. To admit how little you know is a really wonderful quality. The people that like to admit that they know everything usually don't know very much. It's the ones that are very aware of how little they know. They're the ones you want to be talking to. Through it all, though, you really, and it might be, again, back to that little box coping mechanism that you have, the file it under later thing you have going on there, but you do remain pretty balanced. Maybe it's just, maybe that's what you do. Maybe you kind of file it, and then when you have designated time to work on something, you go back and work on it, which, if that's what you're doing, I think that's great. Worry about it when you can focus on it and really dissect it and get to the core of the issue. Great plan. So you're obviously very strategic. Huh. Nothing is an accident. And I don't think because you have like a romantic, nothing is I think you can be romantic, but it's not this romanticized. I think you've kind of been forced again to learn these things. And it just one too many, oh, that's weird. What a coincidence. Too many of them, I think, had made you kind of forced to, start entertaining the idea of a lot of different things. You know about a lot, you've always known about a lot, but I think that even surprised you, some of the things you've learned. All right. Nine of Pentacles. I love the Nine of Pentacles. Like, if I was to pick a card, other than the Empress, the High Priestess, of how I would want to just kind of be chilling. This lady right here, she's just, if you can see, she's just chilling. She's enjoying herself. She's not too concerned. She knows that abundance is on its way. It's only a matter of time before she can, pick all those pentacles. She knows this. So I think you're somebody who, I think you're able to really, when you have your ducks in a row or when you really know something, you enjoy life a lot. You really are able to enjoy yourself. Some moves coming in. Animals like you. So that's cute. It says a lot about somebody, how an animal will act around you. You're very much, and I'm like this too. If I'm at somebody's house for the first time or even at a party or something, I'll probably end up making friends with the dog or the cat, in a corner somewhere, It's, I think you just get excited when you see animals, it's because animals really, they're such pure energy, you know? So I think especially in circumstances like that where it can be kind of overwhelming, especially for someone who's very attuned to picking up on those types of energies, you know? You know what I'm saying? So it's natural, I think, to gravitate back towards another entity that kind of vibrates as close as possible. And which is why I think I gravitate always towards whatever animals are nearby. You know, doesn't really matter. You're not. And it could be because you've mastered all these laws, you understand these rules, that you're just not worried. You're not. You expect it to be, you know, great because that's you've put in the work. You are a hard worker. Try not to be too hard of a worker. I think this is probably something you really have to ride a fine line with. Okay? Especially if you're wanting to have a family, have things in your life that kind of draw responsibility from things that we choose to do. Like what happened here. You know, here I want to be making my videos and doing these readings and things, but I have children. I have, you know, other things that happen, and they take priority, you know? So no matter how much you want to be working on something, if you have those priorities, they come first. So you need to really, and you know, you might know this. I just think that you're somebody who really, when you work on something, you like to dedicate time to it in a way that is very focused, and you don't want to be interrupted because, you know, you're usually on some sort of genius, you know, breakthrough at any minute. You know, it's going to be amazing. And it probably will be. You know, I'm not denying that, but life happens. You know, things happen. Off topic, I want a falcon. Doesn't that seem like, I actually looked into it. No lie, this is kind of the shit I think about. You actually have to have a license for it. You can either have it for rehabbing, which you have to have a license for, or you have to have go to like a falcon school and study under a master falcon guy. Like, shit is deep to get a falcon. Like, I was seriously contemplating it one time because I just think it's awesome. Like, come on, to have a falcon. That's the only way I would ever send any kind of correspondence. You would never get a text message from me. I would send the falcon. I would. I think it's awesome. I know it's off topic, but anybody else like falcons? Oh, hold on. Sorry, it's gonna keep happening in this video. I can almost guarantee you for everyone after this, if you're watching, it's all the videos, it's gonna happen consecutively throughout the whole thing. She doesn't feel good, and she's gonna keep interrupting. Sorry. Yeah, so having a falcon would be badass. Let me know in the comments if you think that'd be pretty badass. I think it's awesome. And if it wasn't so ridiculously hard to get a falcon license, and then you got to build this huge place that they can live in the backyard. You're not allowed to just keep them in your house. It's not exactly what I envisioned having a falcon would be like. And it was kind of disappointing because I really wanted one. Anyway, there's that. This is the kind people are always really surprised too when they figure out the kind of stuff I think about. They're always like, you don't look like you'd think like that. And it's true. I don't know what somebody would do if they lived in my brain for a day. There's a lot going on in there. Random shit too. Let me know down below if you're random as well. Alright, you got intention. And what this says to me basically is that despite even how it may look to other people, despite maybe what you even say about yourself, I think you do always have really good intentions. Now, is that to say that it always works out how you want it to? No. There's an old saying that says the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. And while I don't really believe that, that's one of those what are those belief systems that are kind of pounded into our brain? I think that maybe you've heard that growing up, because that's what I heard. Paved with good intentions. And I don't believe that. I think that as long as your intentions are really pure, no matter if it doesn't work out, no matter if it doesn't really end in a way that you were kind of hoping, the energy is still very innocent, it's very pure, and that's the energy you're going to get back. So I think if you're just doing everything in that kind of way, don't look at it like that's a bad thing. You know, do you get people tend to take advantage of people who are always like, yeah, people, you know, you have the best intentions, you usually look out for other people, you want everyone to kind of benefit. And not everyone is like that. So despite you having good intentions all the time, I do think that maybe I kind of feel like you wish you didn't, which is, so that's, I don't think deep down, I think you, for a split second, maybe have thought or wanted to behave like other people. You know, just because I think you have gotten taken advantage of. So maybe for like a split second, you wanted to not be like this anymore. You wanted to not have the best intentions for everything. But because of what you are, that thought didn't last long, did it? No. And I'm glad it didn't, because that's a really wonderful thing to always do. A wonderful characteristic is to always be very pure in your intentions. You know, if you're pure with your intention, you don't have to worry about how people see you, how things happen around you, how people perceive, what you're doing, because it's all truthful. It's all, in alignment with you. And I think that's a very sweet and pure way of doing things. I feel that maybe you are somebody who maybe does set an intention. Maybe every morning you might get up, or every evening, whatever, you might really put time aside to setting an intention for yourself. It's almost like downloading a mindset. It gets you primed. I don't know, I'm you know how before games, or you even see singers, they have the people and they're in the circle and they're like, all right, go team, that's kind of what I think it does for you. It's almost like it hypes you up to have a day filled with things that you want to experience. Gratefulness, peace, energy, learning. I think you might even squeeze things like that into these things. Whatever it is you're wanting to really focus on or really do, I think that you kind of, even if you're not I think you probably are doing this on purpose, but if you're not, just kind of laying the groundwork for what you're trying to give and receive for the day as far as energy. It's smart. I feel like lately you've been very much guided. I don't want to say if it's by a woman, maybe a grandmother, an aunt, somebody who's not alive anymore. And I don't know if they're coming to you in dreams. I don't know if they're coming to you just like you just feel, or you're like, I don't know, or you'll be like, you'll think of them, or something, you'll smell them, you'll feel something. Maybe they used to like do something to you, like, you know, not like abusive, but like they would put their hand, you know, on you, and it was like comforting. They're helping you. Okay, whatever it is that you're working on, they're helping you. So you should say thank you for that. I feel like like a whole lot in a little package would be a good way. Whoever this was a lot of fun. All right. I think that's probably it. I think I've done, let's see, over half an hour on this one. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up, I guess. Anyway, definitely, if you haven't had this, if you don't know who it is, if you don't know, don't worry about it. I know that they're coming to you in dreams. I know that they're guiding you. You know, even in decisions that you make throughout the day, you know, whether to not go on a certain road, whether to, you know, pick a different meal option over something else. Like they're guiding you in a lot of different ways, and I don't even think you realize it. You know, how many times that little voice wasn't even you. But it's always, you know, for your benefit. So if you do get like this feeling that, you know, grandma's there, auntie's there, whatever, whoever's there, they might be. And they're very, they have their own intentions. They have they want you to know the direction you need to take your life. And if they haven't made it really clear, they're going to. Okay. Okay. I hope that resonated with somebody. I know there's a lot of different things going on, so if it didn't, don't get too discouraged. I mean, when you're reading for a collective, it's really, there's so many different energies that you pick up on. So take what resonates with you. Don't worry about it if it doesn't. If it did resonate with you, though, let me know in the comments. I really love reading them, and I love hearing how these things fit into your life. So it allows me to kind of get a glimpse of what you're going through and where you are at. And I love to meet everyone. So, all right, I'm going to head on to the next reading. You can stick around if you feel inclined to. If not, I hope you have a really good day. Hey, pile number 2. Ooh. Okay, so the first one was pretty interesting. This is actually really cool reading so far. All right. Very cool. Same general concept that I usually do. 2 angel, 2 Rider-Waite, a healing, We'll see where it goes. The tail end of the last one kind of like went a whole different direction, so not sure what happened there. But it was interesting. Very cool. Let's see. Queen of Earth. I love the Queen of Earth. Queen of Earth has so many great qualities. She really is. She's gentle. She's kind. She loves animals. She's earthy. She's a natural type of woman. I think she's definitely a woman that, you know, she can, if she's just going to a grocery store with no makeup on, she's beautiful. You know, she's not, I think she's probably one of those types of people that, you know, doesn't need to do a whole lot to be beautiful, to be handsome, to be, people look at them, they're like, wow. You know, I think you're well put together, but not in a conceited or shallow way. I just think that that's kind of how you carry yourself. I think you have, you're able to practice self-care in a way that's very effortless, which is nice. You might not even realize that you're doing it. It just kind of works. You might have a routine that you do. Maybe you're big, you know, about morning or nighttime routines, skincare rituals, you know, certain things that you do habitually every day. Maybe you might exercise regularly. You might do yoga. You might, I think you're outside a lot doing things. You like to create. And even when it's, I think even more so when it's, I don't want to say difficult, but I think you rise to a challenge really well. I think you're able to buckle down and really kind of, when a lot of people I think would kind of like back off and like lose steam or really want to give up, or maybe they did give up, I think you would be the person that would really be able to persevere and kind of push through to completion. And that's because I think you get so, I don't want to say like obsessed with what you're doing, because it's not unhealthy. The way you do it is actually, I think, very motivational. I think it's, I'm sure it could be obsessive sometimes. But I think for the most part, it's just very helpful to you. I think it's a really great quality. I think your determination, your perseverance are really wonderful things about you. You're really willing to rise to a challenge, especially if it's something you really believe in or you want. You know, it's, you're not you're not the kind of person to settle. You're not the kind of person to, you know, hit a rough patch and just be like, well, it's over. That's it. Pack it up. We're done. It's done. No, you're not. You're the person who's, we hit a rough patch. Let's figure out what to do. Let's move forward. You know, you're very sensible. You're thoughtful. I think you give a lot of thought to a lot of things. I feel like you've had a lot of different jobs. But I think, like, no matter how, like, weird and, like, what's the word, connected I think they seem, every job that you have will ultimately really work out for you in whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. I think that's why you had such diversity in your career fields is you really had a lot of different things to learn. You're very adaptable. And you're kind of, it's almost like, you could be plopped into a new situation. And it doesn't take very long for you to completely alter the fabric of the atmosphere. Meaning, you alone change vibrationally your atmosphere, wherever you are. And it can be for the good or it can be for the bad. I think you're very much a person who can influence people very easily through emotions, especially when they're not the best of emotions. But I think you give yourself the right to feel these emotions and then you move on. So that's wonderful. You're very abundant. It might not be, and abundance doesn't always mean money. You know, you could be abundant in love. You can be abundant in enriching environments, experiences. There's so many different ways to be abundant. In gratitude, that's the best thing to be abundant in. You know, people always think that it's money, and it's really not. I feel like you're very, you can have like a mothering type, but I think it's the kind of mother that is she's very sweet, but she's also very serious in a way that's like you should listen to her, you know? Definitely makes sensible decisions. So that's wonderful. My eye's itchy. Oh, I gotta bring it up in this one too. Is anybody else wanted a falcon? If you have, in the comments. I asked the last group too because it came up. Owning a falcon. Not because I just brought it up. It really didn't have anything to do with anything. I'm just, you know, in the market for a falcon. I'm not. I'm kidding. All right, 5 of Fire. 5 of Fire is busy, fiery, energetic, sometimes chaotic. I think sometimes you can find yourself in some sort of inner conflict, whether it's with yourself, on which way you want to proceed, on, you know, situations that you're in, or it could be people around you that you may clash with, family, friends, kids, you know. And I think it's very, it weighs heavy on you. I don't think that you like to be in conflict. I think you're a very peaceful person. I think by nature you like things to be calm and, you know, non-argumentative. I don't think that you're the type of person to want to start, you know, yelling and all that. I think that you can hold your own. I think that you're not going to let anyone, you know, push you around, but I think that's, and this isn't this is a good characteristic no matter what it might sound like. I think sometimes you might rub people the wrong way. And it's I think almost people think maybe that you're just like, I want to say a know-it-all, or somebody who they feel, I don't know, I just feel like you get this feeling that a lot of people like are like, good for you, Billy. Like that kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Like, and you're just like, why? You know, like, because you honestly have these experiences because you've probably worked in a job like that. Like you've done, you know, other than being an astronaut, you know, you've kind of been all over the place. Yeah, how often you think you might be up in space? Who knows? I think that maybe you have different opposing things you want to do. Like I feel like, you know, part of you wants to do something over here, another part of you kind of wants to be over here doing something. And I think that kind of internal struggle might wreak havoc on you. It could cause conflict with others too. But you're definitely someone I think who can handle a lot of things going on at once. A lot better than other people anyway. I think maybe you thrive in chaos. Maybe you you know, some people are like that, you know, they're able to I don't want to say focus that energy of like chaos and stuff, but I think it almost like lights a fire under their ass to try to get going and get stuff moving. So you might, you know, be that type of person where you need sometimes to be like, you gotta do this, you know, because I think you just have a really set way in which you would like to live your life, and sometimes you gotta be responsible. You are a responsible person, and you realize that. So I think it kind of, it's not that you won't end up in the long run choosing the right priority or picking to prioritize the right thing. I just think that, you know, there could be conflicting emotions within you. And it could just be how you're wired. You know, I'm a, you know, Cancer Leo, so I'm like, believe me, half of me is, you know, moon, half is like, it's nuts in there. Crazy. Batshit insane. Like it's all over the place. So I can understand where you're coming from with that. To have so many opposing aspects, I think is a good way of saying that. But honestly, that's a gift. That's a really great quality, is because it makes you so well-rounded. I don't think there's a place in the world that you can't go and you wouldn't just fit right in somehow. Like, it's ridiculous. But it's a great quality. Someone's a planner. Manifester. I don't know. Some of you, I think, wake up early. You know, when there's that light still, the really pretty, the first light. I don't know. People who wake up early and see it probably know what I'm talking about. It's like that pretty yellowy, the pretty colors, you know? So I see some of you waking up early. And you really use this time, I think, to either to manifest or to, you know, set intentions, to plan. I see you doing a lot of planning. I feel like you're a very practical in ways of setting goals. I think you see the benefit of setting goals and attainable goals. You know, your goals are very attainable in a way so that you can make more goals. You're the type of person that once you complete one goal, you already have another goal in mind. You know, it's this continuous climbing of a ladder for you. Experience is very important to you. And I feel like there's a reason. Like if you haven't done what it is you're supposed to do here yet, there's a reason for all of this. How you plan things, how you set time frames, how you work with others, how you can control environments emotionally, vibrationally. Like these are all things that will be very necessary for you. You have a very I don't want to say hopeful. I mean, it's a pleasant feeling. Almost like you kind of know that in the end it's going to be like that, you know, and you're almost waiting for your ships to come in a way like you've done the work, you've learned these lessons, and you kind of almost are at that point where you're like, shit has to mean something. You know what I mean? Like, I had to have been doing all this shit for some reason. You know, why else would I have, you know, had to work on a bee farm or wherever else you're working at, you know? You're very strategic. Great quality. And it's strategic in a... You ever play Battleships? I feel like strategic like that. And if you ever did play Battleships when you were little, I feel like you almost had like a... I'm getting like you would sit and you would almost... You'd like pre-guess with accuracy where people would put their ships. I think not only were you very intuitive, but you know how people work. You can read them. You're able to anticipate movements. Huh. Really cute. I'll put it here because they're going to do this and they're... If that's you, let me know. It's adorable. I think you definitely, though, are able to kind of scan the horizon and know what's on the way for you. Not a whole lot, I think, takes you by surprise anymore. Because I think you've just experienced so much. Six of Wands. Six of Wands always, like, people for some reason, like, you can always tell, like, when you do readings with people, you know, and like they'll see a card and they'll be like, oh God. Like Death is another one. The Tower. People are always like, Ten of Swords. You know, these are all things people like kind of freak out. And this is for some reason is also another one that people are kind of like, kind of depressed about. You know, and it's, I mean, it's obviously not the most brightly colored card, but I don't know, maybe because I know like the symbolism. I don't know. This isn't a bad card though. No cards are bad in tarot, really. That's why I really don't read reversals, because there are really so many ways of to looking at a situation. You know, so to label it, you know, bad is, it ain't helping nobody to do it that. So we're not going to. Six of Swords is really about moving on. And the symbolisms that you need to pick up on here, you can see right here, it's very wavy, right? Where they are now, it's very wavy, very choppy. It's probably not really good. Let's put our kid in a tiny boat and go in the water waves. But, you know, mom of the year, they're going anyway. Okay, but up ahead here, you can see all the water that's in front of them is smooth sailing. Okay, so, you know, this card is about moving on from a challenging time, moving towards calmer waters. It's about moving on towards things that are more peaceful. So I think you're able, in a way to do that, you're able to kind of move away from situations, belief systems, ideas, thought patterns, things maybe you picked up in childhood. Just, you know, like there was a thing that came out in the last one. It was a, you know, a saying, the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. And like little things you hear over your life that's kind of like, they don't really help you, but you hear them a lot, you know? Like, oh, that's just our family's luck. And why do you think that is? Because it's your family's luck. Yep. And you keep saying it. Stop saying it. It's very important. This isn't necessarily a quality, but I want to bring it up. It's very important that you stay in a healthy mental frame of mind in a way that allows you to move on easier. Maybe hook up with that first person, the pile one card person. They might be able to give you a few tips on that, because I do think sometimes it's hard for you to, for some of you anyway, to really let go. And I can see why, you know, it's really hard when you're raised a certain way to let go of beliefs and conditioning and programming, and it's really all it is that you're kind of brought up in. And so it's not easy to just kind of like drop all that stuff and, you know, like, oh, all better now. Like, it doesn't work like that. I wish it did. That'd be great. The next dimension I go to is going to be that one. Makes everything real easy. You need to make sure that we're always moving forward in a way that allows you to have peace of mind. Okay? I feel like you're very, like I said, strategic. We don't need to have regrets. If something doesn't work exactly how you'd like it to, with your constant planning, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a lot of Virgo tendencies. You should go see my sister, by the way, DarlingDTarot. I love her. I love her. She's a Virgo. Classic Virgo, and she would probably understand that. So if you're a Virgo or you know Virgo qualities, I'm sure you understand that too. The analytical, just so things that you have to do, and don't tell them that they're not doing it that way, because that's how they're doing it, and it's probably the best way to do it because they know, they've researched it, and they'll prove you wrong. Don't even try it. Okay, it's, you know, it's happened quite a bit because I'm, you know, can be a Leo in a lot of ways. So I'll be like, oh yeah. She'll have like, you know, a pie chart and stuff waiting for me to look at. Shit. So try to have this a carefree attitude when things don't really go exactly how you're planning them to. I think that in a way you're not like totally rigid, but I do think that you put a lot of thought and planning into your movements. Okay? Just, we want peace of mind is what we're going for. Don't bring things forward if they don't need to be there. Travel light. You know, that's what they're doing. You know, they're only bringing with them the shit that they need. Nothing else is fitting in that boat. You know? If this was a U-Haul, it's the little trailer that you pull behind. It's not even a damn truck. It's like that little trailer thing. Yeah. You ain't fitting a whole lot of stuff in there. Healing. This would go back to oops. Definitely your Queen of Pentacles energy that you have. Very healing, very calming. I think you have a way about you that is very nurturing, very motherly or fatherly, very just comfortable. Like people are around you and they're kind of like, you know, it's just comfortable. You almost heal them by osmosis of just being near them. You know, you just have that quality where, you know, you can be, you know, around someone and they could be kind of like down, and just them being near you allows them to kind of perk up a little bit. I think if you don't know, I think you would be very good at hands-on healing. Reiki. I hear energy movement. So maybe bending energy, moving energy, shifting energy. I think you're able to do this pretty well and pretty easily. And I think this has helped you manifest a lot of things. Is your ability to not only visualize, but to almost pick yourself up and place yourself in that environment of having that, so much so that you've created an experience of you having it, and that sets it forward. You know? The level of this healing, it reminds me of the first pile I did. So if you're watching this one, maybe go back and check that one out, see if any of that resonates with you. I feel like there's some things that might really, especially if they're like, say about the grandma. Especially if you've been like having dreams about female guides or family members or like some kind of, I feel like they're female. So if that's something that's happening, maybe go back and, you know, watch the first one, because that was brought up towards the end. But there's somebody kind of stepping in, helping, guiding, you know, so you can see the importance of the decisions you're making. They're really hammering this one home. So whoever this is for, like, you better make the right decision, because I feel like they'll come back and they'll be like, you didn't explain it enough to them. Please, listen to them. They know where I live now. No, seriously though, they're trying to help you. And it could be your guides. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily, you know, your grandma or aunt or whatever, but I kind of feel like there is maybe even a great grandma, just some kind of familial tie, you know, to this woman. Very wise, just very commanding and wise, just very hell of a woman, you know? Anyway, so I do think that you have a really great healing energy about you. If you didn't know about it, start looking into it. You can help a lot of people. And the great thing about energy healing, if you really have knack at it, is, you know, you can start taking that wherever you go, and you can really use that, you know, if you see someone having a bad day. Like I've done it for waitresses. I've done it, you know, people at the bank. Like just you can kind of almost give them a little jolt of healing energy, healing love, and it really, you know, it's nice to leave people in a better condition than you find them. And I think that's a really beautiful quality to have. All right. I hope that was able to help somebody. It was about 30 minutes long, so not too bad, right? I'm trying to, you know, I feel like, you know, I've read the comments and stuff, and I really love to read them, so thank you for commenting. And I would rather, you know, talk for a little bit longer and have it take forever to upload and kind of get everything I need to say out than to really hurry up and quickly just try to talk and talk and talk. Because, you know, with the other ones where I tried to keep it, you know, really short because, you know, uploading took so long, I just feel like I probably could have talked for a lot longer and gotten a lot more information out. And that really is what matters, not how fast I can upload a video. You know, if it takes me all day long to upload a video, I think that's better, and for you guys to hear what you need to hear, because I'm taking my time. So there's that. I really hope that this was able to resonate with you. If it did, you know, please let me know in the comments. Subscribe, like, comment. I want to know what everyone thinks about this kind of stuff. If you have another pick a card you want me to do, if you have a reading suggestion, if you have a question, if you just want to tell me what you ate for breakfast, whatever, it's cool. You know, we're all friends here. We can do that, right? All right, so have a good day. Bye. Hey, pile 3, y'all. All right, welcome pile 3. Ooh. Aww. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm peeking. I'm nosy sometimes. All right. So we're going to start same general concept. Angel cards, Rider-Waite, wrap it up with a healing. Which one we'll start with? These are going to be qualities that are very admirable. Good qualities about you. So, Queen of Fire. I'm obviously had to start with this one because it's me. Yeah. Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. It's a Leo. Yeah. Confident, warm, intelligent, graceful is what the card says. Graceful, I mean, I think I probably didn't get as much there, but maybe they gave me more in other areas. So that's how that worked out. Because I trip a lot. I do. I fall down. I'm probably not the most graceful. But I am all the other stuff. So it probably just got spread out that way, you know? All right. I feel like you're somebody who is able to express their independence in a way that's very assertive, but it's not in a like a bitchy assertive kind of way. It's more like just like a commanding, you know, this is what I'm getting and I'm not accepting less from you. Like a queen, you know, or a king. You're very able to hold your own. And I think even more so than even you realize sometimes, I think there's been times where, you know, you necessarily might not have thought you would react a certain way, and you've risen to the occasion and reacted exactly how you need to, and then you were like, where the hell did that come from? You know what I mean? Because you're usually very sweet, kind, just friendly and warm and inviting, and, you know, life of the party. Like, when you go places, you really do have a way of shifting the atmosphere, of the vibration that you're in. You know, there's as far as like going to a party, like they say like that's a really great sign to go to a party with. And, you know, you usually can tell when a Leo is there. And it's not necessarily, I mean, yeah, when we're in our ego, we can, you know, whatever. But I just think it's just natural. It's just, they're naturally very fiery and a very, like a moth to a flame. You know, they're able to really draw people in because they're very warm. They're very comfortable. They're very smart. You're very smart. Cunning. I heard sly like a fox. Are you sly like a fox? I think you hold yourself very well. You are probably put together even on days that you don't think you are. Like right now, like me, like to me, I'm like, I'm not, you know, I'm not done up. I'm not, you know, wearing a pretty dress, or like I'm in sweatpants and shit. You know, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, oh, you don't look bad, you know, but I look put together enough, right? And I think that's kind of how you are. You're very able to pull off not being that put together. You know how like some people can pull off like really not being put together, like they didn't even brush their hair that day and they somehow look really great? You have that. I have that too. That's Leo and me coming out. And then the Cancer part of me is like, you need to be humble. You need to stop. So, I feel like you like proving people wrong. I'm not sure if that's a quality. Is that a quality? You almost like when people underestimate you, because I think it gives you more of a fire to prove them wrong. I think you really do like when people are like, oh yeah, you won't. Like I heard you won't. Oh yeah, I really do. I think that's probably, you know, you might have found yourself in a situation or two where you were like at the party and, you know, you're the one who's like, hold my beer. And then you like, you do something just absolutely ridiculous. Very creative. Funny. Very funny. Great sense of humor. And I think in a way, and this might have started out, I think you can be prideful at times. And I think that maybe earlier on, maybe you had, maybe you got your feelings hurt. Maybe you were picked on. Maybe, you know, but those things kind of toughened you up in a way. And I think that it really made you very strong. But I don't think it's made you like a bully. You know what I mean? It's made you, I think, someone who would rather fight for the underdog. You know, I think you're probably the type of person that, you know, like the Super Bowl, like you're gonna vote for the person who nobody else thinks is gonna win. You know, like, oh, they're gonna lose, that's who I'm hoping for. You know, I think you really try to fight for the underdog a lot. For people who don't really have a voice, I think you would like to be a platform to give them one. Okay. For those of you that don't know, both my kids are sick home from school today, so it's like it's going to be like a big mess. Like it's going to be all over the place for this reading today. I'm going to have to keep stopping. Just a heads up. Poor things, they're so sick. I feel like for how warm you are, you're a bit intimidating to people. Like you're, even just your look, like how you look at people. Like if you're, oh, like if you're a woman, like a way a guy would describe it is they're not sure if you want to have sex with them or stab them. It's kind of like, what? Like, it could go either way. You know, it might freak them out a little bit. You know, I mean, it's one end's a little bit better than the other one, so I can see the concern there. But you're definitely very not as approachable. So if you've gone out with your girlfriends a lot, and guys, this happens like all the time. I don't go out much anymore, but when I did, all my friends would get hit on. You know, I finally asked like one of my guy friends about it because like it was kind of upsetting that, you know, like everybody else would get all this attention and like nobody would even talk to me. You know, and he's like, you're intimidating. And I never really, like, I'm 5'4", so like for me, I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense, you know? And I was thinking, well, like, maybe I have bitch face, you know, which has been confirmed. Like, coworkers and stuff would, for the longest time, wouldn't even talk to me. My friend Courtney at where I used to work, and she would not talk to me. And, like, finally, she told me, she's like, look, she's like, I didn't talk to you because I thought you were a bitch. Just because of my, like, I can't help my face. Like, I don't understand. Like, I have people tell me that, too. Like, in the grocery store, they'll be like, cheer up. Why? Like, really? Why? So I think you might have that. Maybe some of you have bitch face too, and it's just like, I get it. Because sometimes you're in a really good mood, and people just think you're, like, miserable. It's like, I've been having a great day. I just look really annoyed. I can't help it. It's almost like people are concerned with what's going on in your brain. You know, like, you're just kind of, you're staring and they're like wondering what's going to happen because of it. Because something's going on, obviously. So some of you have a really, to look you in the eyes to some people is nerve-wracking. I think your eyes can be considered intimidating. But again, I think while that's something you've been born with, I think it was also something that you learned to cultivate. Okay, so this is a characteristic or a trait that has really been built upon because of, I don't want to say weakness, because it's not weakness. You haven't exercised confidence as much, you know, so I think the way you are now is just a result of having to have those kind of traits, have the confidence, have the, you know, that sort of air about you. All right, Eight of Air. Eight of Air is another one of those, was it this one that I was talking about? And I think it's the last pile. You know, these cards that make people, when they see them, go, and like Eight of Air is another one that's kind of like really dreary looking. It's this woman that's, there's like a row of swords, and she's like kind of stuck there, and she's like all bound, and she can't move, and she's blindfolded, and like you think like, why don't you just move, you know, like, because she's not like totally bound, like really bad. Like it's kind of obvious, like she's just hanging out there, like, you know, you could get out of that if you really wanted to, you know. And the idea of that is Swords, or air energy as it's interchangeable, you know, it's thoughts. These are beliefs, ideas. So I think that you're someone who has really had to rise above habitual thought patterns, things that you were raised with, beliefs about yourself, beliefs about your family, your community, your environment, how you should be acting in those environments, religion, peers, any kind of anything, any kind of arena. I think you really have a great quality of being able to make decisions that maximize your freedom. I think that having grown up in whatever kind of, I don't want to say restrictive, but, you know, like wherever you were, whatever the situations were, it was kind of like you were there. You know, so maybe you were in church a lot, maybe, you know, you just had like a certain cultural thing, maybe your family just hung out in certain places, or, you know, whatever it is, maybe you had, you know, a certain group of friends that you hung out with for a lot of years that kind of dictated your environment and how you think from those environments. And I think you had to overcome a lot of these. The Eight of Swords typically is about like mental imprisonment, not being able to go anywhere because of your own perceived limitations. Like you're in a situation and you don't want to be there, you know, and you're like, I can't leave. I'm stuck here. And people are like, yeah, you can. And you're like, no, I can't. I'm stuck here. And like people, you clearly can see that there's options. They're like, I can't go anywhere. But it's very real. When you're in that energy, it's very real. It's amazing how real, you know, your mind can make a situation appear. There's a thing, I don't know if you've seen it, but with ants, if you draw circles around them, they perceive a barrier there and they won't try to cross it. So you can almost keep these ants imprisoned just because they have the belief that there's something there. That's what this is. Okay, so I really think that you have a quality about you that is able to sort that out. I don't think this is any more, you know, lack of self-confidence, unable to take action, you know, the illusion of being trapped anymore. But I do think that you have been in plenty of those situations over the years. And that's how you're able to now kind of understand these things and understand, you know, how your brain works, how ideas work, you know, the importance of being free. I think freedom to you is very, and freedom is important to everyone, but I think to some people, it's like a very, like to me, that is a huge priority. Huge. And I think to like a lot of you, maybe it might be another, you know, like that's probably to you one of the worst things is to be stuck somewhere you don't want to be, you know, is to be imprisoned, you know, trapped. You know, it's like the best way for me to describe that feeling, and it's a very slow way of really killing yourself. Like it's, you ever take like you see a candle and you can put like a glass over it and you can watch it just slowly dies. That's what that feeling is to me. For those of you who also understand what that is, that's exactly, and all you can do is just see like it's just, you know, that's what feeling entrapped is. You know, it's just you're stuck there and it's slowly killing you. Right? So because of situations like this, you know, you've had to figure out ways to get out of things like that, and that there were exits there. You just weren't able to perceive them. Okay? It was all an illusion. I think you're someone who's really able to know when someone is lying. I think you, if not just from intuition, you are very good at reading like subtle quirks and things that people do, like a profiler, you know, like you can, like, oh, they look that way, that means, you know what I mean, like, you know how people kind of tick. You've been in situations where people have made you just feel stuck there. I bet that's never happened again, huh? Right? Maybe that's where you're at right now. Remember that ant. It's all in your head. Okay, I have to. It's the Lover's card. Okay. All right. You know, since I like to do a lot of twin flamey stuff, I get excited anytime I see this card. I can't help it. So you are someone who's very relationship oriented. You're someone who likes to form relationships, and I don't believe that these are relationships that are very superficial. I don't think that they're all necessarily romantic, but you are someone who likes to form relationships built on good qualities, you know, maybe common interests, but you're very selective. I do think that you are very selective with your friends. You may not have a gigantic circle, you know, really close friends, but that's fine. I think you would rather have like a small network of just really great people that you have close bonds and relationships with. You know, at the end of the day, I think like it's really not about followers or subscribers or, you know, to you, like how many friends it appears that you have, you know, like it's about the actual bond itself. What is tying you to them? You're very passionate with the coming out with the Ace of Pentacles. I do think that you love love. I think that you love the freedom of, you know, a new relationship. I think you like the newness, that fresh relationship smell when everything's still real rosy and, you know, what they call the honeymoon phase. You love that. And like, who doesn't love that? But you might get bored. Once the newness wears off. I wouldn't be surprised if you were someone that really either changes their hairstyle or like how they dress, or just like their house. If you change things, almost to keep it new, exciting. You know, I really don't think you like to fall into a rut, and I think it has something to do with that 8 of Air energy. I don't think you like to feel like things are like stagnant. You know, things are just like, well, there's Joe on the couch again, like he was yesterday, and the day before that. Like, no, Joe's gotta go, right? Right. I really think that, you know, you're somebody who, while you form these deep, very deep connections with people, you want like a, like a really deep, close relationship that you can also be like, when you need to, over there. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to say commitment issues. I don't want to say them. But it's not a matter of loyalty. It's not, I think it's something to do with being like locked in. You know what I mean? Like locked into that situation might make you a little anxious. But I do feel that love is very important to you. I think you really understand that, you know, everything is about love. Without love, you know, that's all you need. It really is. I think you might have, you know, thought of, you know, visions of, for some of you, the fairy tale, you know, running off into the sunset kind of a love, you know, yet it starts out that way, right? Like all these relationships start out that way. It's great. It's exciting. And then it's like, oh, life happens, right? So I don't think you should change, because I really do think people like this meet other people like this. So if that's what, you know, makes a healthy, happy relationship for you, find somebody else like that, you know? Find somebody else who having freedom is also like a really big deal to, because they'd understand. You know, they're not going to restrict you or limit you. You know, if you keep going like with these people that they don't have that quality about them, like maybe they experience the opposite, so they want someone they can be around all the time. Like they want to go to the bathroom with you. Like one of those kind of, okay? And that's great too. Find another person like that. Pennsylvania, we had it was a 2-person outhouse, and 2 people go bathroom outside at the same time. It was so cool looking. Anyway, fun fact about my childhood. Make sure you are trying to be compatible with people that match your vibration on a core frequency. If you need freedom, you need to find somebody else who needs freedom, because it ain't gonna work any other way. But I like this about you because love is very important, and I think love is the only thing that matters. So really great quality about you. You know, and people who have this kind of a trait about them, they love so fiercely, you know, and it's always, the intentions are always very good, you know, so you can't fault yourself really for anything. You know, if you feel a certain way about somebody, if you really love someone, you should never feel bad about it. I think that's a really great quality, is to be able to love. A lot of people, you know, they get hurt and then they're like, oh, fuck this shit. We're done loving. That's it. We're done. Right? I think it's very commendable that you continue to love. I think that's wonderful. All right. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles to me always represents, like, as far as time, like, it really would be like spring. March, spring, maybe a birthday in March. Some of you, maybe something's going to be happening in March. Something exciting. I've been getting this a lot. And I do think it's a time frame. I think it has to do with something around March. If you have any ideas what that could be, let me know in the comments. Or if your birthday's in March. You like fresh, you like new, you like exciting, you like things with potential. Which I'm sure, looking back, you can realize is not always the best thing to look for in a partner. You know, yeah, you can, if they have potential and you can grow together, wonderful. But I mean, if you're just the type of person that sees the good in everybody and, like, you know, you might see potential in somebody that's really not the best idea. Like, yeah, he kills cats, but he's really sweet. No, I see potential there. No, you don't. Ugh. You don't need to see potential in everything. And if you do, great. Leave it the fuck over there. You don't need to touch it, okay? It's got potential? Great. Walk away from it. All right? I think that you have made choices that, well, again, had the best of intentions. And you can't help but see the great in people, and it's a wonderful quality to have, to always see the good in people. That's great. But when you're entering into a relationship that ultimately is going to create binds and cords, you need to be very selective, because this could potentially be years and years of work to cut those cords, to get rid of them. You know, like, you know, venom, you know, like how it, like that's kind of what that's like this toxic, stringy, you know, yeah. Okay, so when you attach with people in that way, especially in a romantic way, you need to be very selective over who you're linking up with, I guess would be you know, the energies that you're exchanging with certain people. I think that it's important for you. And this might be something you already know. This might be something that you've realized. Good job. You know, just because you see potential in someone, it makes you a really good person to see that. It really makes you a very sweet person. But unfortunately, sometimes sweet people can get taken advantage of. You know, we don't need you getting hurt. But I do think that, you know, new opportunities are attractive to you, and not just romantically. You know what I mean? The Lover's card doesn't have to be romantic. It can be work-related. It can be any kind of partnership. You know, any kind of ship would fall under the Lover's category. You know, people seem to think that it's like, you know, divine love, and, like, yes, it can be in the right, you know, arena. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be partnerships of any kind. But usually profound ones that really do either help mold you, you learn from them, you know, those kind of things. I do think, here's a little bit of I think your idea for potential, while it may not always work in romance, I do think you have an eye for business. I have a feeling that you you have a very keen sight in what has potential in a monetary way. I don't know if it's real estate. I don't know if it's stocks or just new opportunities, new businesses, new ways of doing things that, you know, are kind of new ideas. You know, you really are smart that way. And I think you have the potential to make a lot of money because of it, because of your ability to see potential. If you see potential in something, you go ahead and take it, okay? Because you're on the money. I keep hearing springtime. I don't know what it is. So if any of you have anything happening in springtime, okay, that you know of, I don't know. Maybe something is happening. I don't think that has anything to do with a characteristic. Okay. If any of you are planning on getting pregnant, maybe you're having the baby then, or you're getting pregnant then, that's a possibility. So if you're not trying to do that, wrap it up, you know? I don't... Something is going to be offered. Something that I think you will see potential in. Maybe it's a new relationship. I just told you not to do that, like to accept, and here comes another one, right? Some kind of relationship, it might even be business, like a partnership, maybe a collaboration of some kind. You know, a joining of forces, like a dynamic duo kind of thing. Peabody and Sherman it, you know, that sort of a relationship. Very cool. Ooh, focus. Something that I lack sometimes. You know, I can be all over the place. I know I can. You have when you want to. I want to make that very clear. When you want to, you have incredible focus. I do have a feeling that if it's something that you really don't give a shit about, you might look like you're trying to focus, but I don't think you're hearing anything. If I'm being real honest, I think you'd be like yeah, you know, and people are just talking and talking, and you're just, yeah. And you have no idea what anyone said because you're not focusing, because you don't care, right? But if it was something like, you know, maybe you're super into making dollhouse furniture, I don't know, something, you know, and you really need to be like in there because they're all really tiny and you gotta like really focus on it, you know, because it ain't easy out here for, you know, miniature dollhouse people, I'm sure. I don't know, I'm not into that, but it seems like something cool. I'd try it. There's not much I wouldn't try. If anyone would want a falcon, by the way, this was a topic brought up in previous piles today. I think it'd be pretty cool. You know, if anyone else, comment. I expect a lot of comments because I think that's pretty cool. Okay. You are able to, when you want to, really focus on things in a way that kind of ensures success. and I think it's because no matter what happens, you're willing to see things through to like completion. Like you really, it doesn't matter how many times something messes up, or if you are focused on that thing, it doesn't matter. It's getting done. You know? Same with people. Maybe, I don't know if that's helpful or not helpful quality that you've had. I have a feeling it's been both in relationships, focus. Sometimes too much, sometimes not enough. Not sure if you've learned the balance there, but you have a tremendous power to focus. And the reason that's such a wonderful quality is because what we focus on grows. Simple. You know, if you're focusing on your business, guess what's going to grow? And you're being, you know, like, you can't be working on it the whole time. You're like, fucking business sucks. It's going to suck. Everything's going to suck. Nobody's going to buy from me. If you're, obviously, what's going to happen there. But, you know, if you're focusing on your business and you're really trying to get it going, little by little, it's going to work because that's where your focus is going. Same thing with a relationship. If it's something you want to put focus in, the relationship will grow. If it's something that really you don't think demands a lot of focus from you, you know, I guess that's up to the person you're dating. Most people have their own way of acting with that. So I think it's important for you. I think you can visualize things really easily too. Like you can pretty instantly see yourself in a specific place reaping the benefits. Like you almost can focus so much that you create what it is you're trying to create ahead of time. So much so you could almost live in there, you know? Your focus is that strong. Excellent quality. All right. Well, I tried to make them a little bit longer this time just because, I don't know, I felt like I needed to. I hope I was able to help somebody. I know there was a lot of all over the place, so this might be for quite a few different people. It might be, you know, you might see yourself in all three piles. You might not see yourself in any but one. You know what I mean? So I would suggest kind of just keeping with you what really resonated and not worrying about anything else that didn't. All right. If you want more tarot fun, go follow my sister, my little sister, DarlingDTarot. She's absolutely amazing, and she's so wonderful. I love her so much. She's really, really great. She's almost like just like 7,000 subscribers, I think, something like that. Congratulations. Woo, yeah. Right? It's so exciting. I like stalk her. I'm kind of like her biggest fan. You know, like if I think I should, I'm going to start you a fan club. Oh my God. I'm going to start you who wants to be in the fan club? I'm going to start a fan club. I'm not even kidding. Okay. I love you, Dana. What did I want to say? There was something I wanted to say. Crap. I'll probably think of it once I'm done. I'll be like, oh. Anyway, if you need more help, DivineDestinyTarot.com. I have all sorts of readings. You can get one there. I really hope everyone has a great day. And I will see you soon again. If you have comments, if you have suggestions, if you have ideas, I want to hear them. I really do. Put them down below. Like, subscribe. All right.